Thank you, Kate, and welcome to the Grey Cup rematch. So nice, we had to do it twice as Winnipeg returns home in hopes of slamming the brakes on a 3-game skid. Marsh, it's a blessing to have opponents back-to-back. We're underway from Princess Auto Stadium. 24 degrees, the smoke is held off as this one rolls along the turf and right into the fray immediately. A special teams miscue, but Chris Strevler does get the opening possession.
Arms, right?
But Cooley somehow able to recover that one. Strevler goes to work, 4 receivers to his left. Quick throw out. It's Jarrett Stearns, old reliable for this offense, as the rest of this Winnipeg starting offense, led by Chris Strevler, looks like this.
We mentioned a number of changes to the lineup. It's not Stanley Bryant checking back in at left tackle, but they do get a veteran in Eric Lofton. He's in place of Micah Vanterpool at that spot. Joey Corcoran takes over for an injured Cody Case, who is in the lineup for an injured Dalton Schoen. Much discussion of the fact that Dylan Mitchell remains sidelined for the Blue Bombers.
Only the second time this season Winnipeg has begun the football game with a called passing play, as this time they do go back to the ground attack on 2nd down and 2, stacked up inside. More comfortable as a short yardage quarterback as he takes the first sound snap and plunges across the line easily. The Argonauts starting defense trying to rally around, charging against Chris Strevler here tonight.
And on that defensive line, we'll keep an eye on Andrew Chatfield Jr., among the league leaders in terms of pressures. 5 sacks in his first 4 games, but 0 for his last 3. So he's looked to get back on the stat sheet. Jarrett Martin checks back in at the nickel linebacker spot. He had played 3 games there previously with Derek Sluka out of the lineup. Tyshawn Blackburn shifts from nickel back to the free safety spot.
Strevler back on the field here with a first down. Another quick screen, this time Carrick Wheatfall chased down as Winton McManus flies out to make the play. There's a late flag that comes up as well. Derek Parrish up against Pat Neufeld on the inside on a penalty.
Unnecessary roughness, Toronto, number 97. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play and an automatic first down.
And way behind the play, Dwayne.
Flagged on this one. You just see that scuffle happening on the ground between he and Neufeld, and you saw that foot swing up in an attempted kicking motion.
Yeah, a little bit too close for comfort for Justin McInnes there.
Look at the fact, Chris Strevler in his 8th pro season.
Strevler goes underneath, catch is made. Saw that plenty of time against the Toronto defense last week. Joey Corcoran makes the grab on the shallow crosser, and you asked Sergio Castillo, fan favorite, wants to stay that way as he hammers this one from 45 away and off the uprights. 13 for 14 on the season. Made one from 58 yards away earlier this year, but that one no good. From
on the 6-game injured list, and he knows exactly how long he'll have this role.
Certainly gives him some clarity, and he knows many of the pieces that work around him here with the Argonauts starting offense.
Yeah, you look at this group. Sage Dockstader was a late scratch last week from that starting guard spot, but 3 guys essentially on that offensive line were in their first year as Canadian Football League starters. And the receiving core waiting for Tavares Daniels to have a little bit of a breakout. Veteran receiver, he's been a 1,000-yard guy in this league. Can definitely be something of a game breaker to go along with Coxie.
Arbuckle as they empty it out, 3 by 3 on either side. Pressure's on, and down he goes. Arbuckle wrapped up and thrown to the turf. He got his first sack in Winnipeg Blue last week, and now James Vaughters has his second. 15 times. They've been sacked now 4 times on the season. 26% of the time they're in that formation. It ends in a sack for Toronto. That is a rough number here in week number 9 as the kick is received.
It's the Toronto Argonauts, and a big part of why they won the game.
Arbuckle felt that very much as this one gets knocked up in the air. It's intercepted. Cam Judge had a pick last week. He's got another now. Can he beat Strevler to the end zone? Cuts back. No flags down. Touchdown Argonauts.
Drill. Scoops it up. Lanier working laterally on the play, kind of recognizing where the quarterback's eyes were going as he was initially blocked up. Cameron Judge, Mr. Versatility in this Toronto Argonaut defense, has picks in back-to-back weeks.
And week 8's highest graded linebacker linebacker in the Canadian Football League, according to Pro Football Focus, had in the first half last week with James Vaughters on a fumble return touchdown. Liram Hajrullahu, former Bomber himself, sends this one high into the smoky skies of Manitoba, drops down, and is returned by Trey Vavel across the 30, 40, 50, turns on the Jets. Vavel off to the races. 10-5 touchdown. Immediate response from the Bombers.
And you can see this one shaping up early, a little bit of separation in terms of that web, that net in kick coverage for the Toronto Argonauts. Guys caught at different levels. And Trey Vavel has been handling the return duties for the Bombers all season. That's his welcome to the end zone moment.
93-yard return for number 23. As Sergio Castillo doinking the field goal earlier, gets a chance to knock through the extra point. Double return back in week 3 between Toronto and Saskatchewan. Maybe it's another Prairie team playing against the double blue. It'll lead to somebody else winning big. The front half of that required Trey Vavel to break through coverage, beat a couple of speedy coverage units, and away he goes into the end zone. A couple of major plays from defense and special teams dominating the first quarter here in week number 9 in Winnipeg. As Janarian Grant with a flag down will step out of bounds about the 35-yard line. We'll clean that up afterwards. Last season they had 5 last week against this Toronto offensive line, who's allowed 21 so far on the season. Quick screen goes to Kevin Mattal as he rolls his way forward, is wrapped up and brought down by Evan Holm and the rest of this Winnipeg starting defense.
And we already mentioned James Vaughters and his exploits last week, a sack and a touchdown on a fumble recovery. Another sack already in this one. Michael Griffin, this is a guy who plays a lot of snaps on defense for Winnipeg as it is, but now listed as the starter at the nickel linebacker spot as their shuffle on the back end sees Reddick Crandy move from nickel to free safety. Jamal Parker takes over. He moves from free safety to the field corner position.
Quentin Cooley, the backup running back, was actually on the field on that last snap. In around linebacker, he sprints off as they get a sub in, and now Arbuckle gets his arm hit as a flag comes up. It's incomplete to Deontay McMahon.
It was an incomplete pass. Offside, Toronto, number 80. That penalty is declined. Third down.
Jordan Younger's got all the flexibility to make those calls in the middle of the fray, and he did by putting Vavel in. As this one goes out to the sideline, for the leadership of Strevler as well, as he looks to hand it off inside. Reigning MOP Brady Oliveira stacked up. As Strevler told us this week, he's like, Zach Collaros and I, we're both leaders. We get to the left of Chris Strevler here. Pressure look from the Argonauts as Strevler steps up, looks to throw, and he'll get thrown down to the turf. Derek Parrish in amongst the mess. But the play is made by Aaron Casey. Tough into that one a little bit. Looks like he might have wanted to take off, but by the time he had that idea, nobody was open as Janarian Grant receives this. Down at the 10-yard line, stutters, and gets whacked. Tanner Cadwalder, who has 7 special teams tackles, can't bring him down as a flag is thrown as well. Cadwalder chases it down from behind.
Huge play. You got to give the special teams coach a great nod to the cap of how he adjusted there.
Yeah, absolutely. You can feel the energy get zapped when Cam Judge hit the end zone, but immediately back into it here as the crowd, as the defense hits the turf, and this one complete to DeMonte Coxey. But it's a good eye by Luke there because, yeah, that was total miscommunication on the opening kick. Plenty of challenging plays in front of him in this one. Here's 2nd and 1 as he'll turn around, hand it off to McMahon, who puts his head down, runs into a wall. And did he get there? Great job by Kyle Wilson coming up alongside Jay Pearson as well. Friend of the Toronto Argonauts, unable to sustain drives here in really great Friday night football conditions as Willie Jefferson got close to that one. And Vavel will catch it at his own 40-yard line, dances away from 2, spins down the sideline, and is pushed out of bounds. Strevler with 3 options to his right will roll that direction, fades it over the top, and it is caught. Jarrett Stearns wrapped up and brought down by Darius Bratton, and highly complimentary was Mike O'Shea. Nice block that time by Chris Ike on the edges. They go handoff. Nick Dembski's got speed around the edge, cuts to the outside of the 40. Whit McManus finally shoves him out of bounds at the 30-yard line, but the all-purpose Swiss Army knife of Nick Dembski has a Bomber first down.
Before getting his chance to start at receiver at the U of Manitoba.
And Strebler this time goes with a run up in between the tackles. Paul Lapalisse in studio last night for the Calgary-Ottawa game was saying he fully expected them to go with a little bit of called run. Jason Hogan, offensive coordinator. As Strebler under center goes hard count. And it looks like he caught Toronto, or is it procedure?
20-25, offside, Toronto, number 91. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Justin McInnes makes the call. They get Anthony Lanier. 10. Inside the score zone for Winnipeg. Hands it off. Inside, Brady Oliveira gets a block from Strebler, who leads up through the hole. Strebler now with a sprint to the right, puts his head down. And Strebler uses the legs, thundering into the end zone for the Bombers' touchdown. You wouldn't be able to tell by those last couple of plays and how dominant they were up front. Winnipeg had only 26 score zone plays coming into tonight. Toronto nearly double with 50.
Power football has been such a hallmark of the Bombers. Brady Oliveira leading the way, but Chris Strebler kind of decides he's going to be his own blocker, fighting his way through a couple of would-be tacklers into the end zone.
At least Brady got a hand on Chris to throw him into the end zone at some point. That right there felt like a Bombers touchdown run.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that has built its identity around a certain style of play for a number of years, whether it was Paul Lapalisse, Buck Pierce, or now Jason Hogan calling the plays.
Toronto gets possession at their 50 after the illegal kick out of bounds. 4 receivers to the right of Arbuckle. Looks that way, comes back to the left, comeback route, high and away, incomplete for Coxie, and a flag flies as well. Justin McInnes backs up Toronto. And the Argonauts trail headed to quarter number 2. Fourth, a battle against the conditions. This one feels much more like what we expected originally, Dwayne, because big plays being made in all 3 phases of the game.
To adapt to that.
Haven't said the name Kevin Mattal that much yet either. He was a big player in that ball game last week at home. 5 catches. As Nick Arbuckle looks outside, Demonte Coxie, really the savior of this Argonauts offense, breaking away from 2 tacklers. It takes 5 Bombers to get there before Coxie gives up ground. Tall getting Demonte Coxie set there, making sure he's lined up correctly. As now down the middle of the field, it's up for grabs, and it's off the hands of Kevin Mattal. The rare deep shot down the pipe. 3%. Couldn't hang on to that one. As a big battle down the middle of the field. This one drops over the head of Trey Vavel, kicks backwards, he picks it up. No flags down on the play. The what to do before they can get there. Right now 3-3 on the season as Strebler flips this one underneath. It is complete at the 9-yard line. And Jarrett Stearns rolls his way out towards the 15.
For most outstanding Canadians.
It's an interesting idea,
I just feel like Nick Dembski gets overlooked repeatedly when he should at least be in the conversation.
A great downhill run that time by Brady Oliveira. Terry Wilson checks into the ball game here, loaded front for Toronto, and once again Wilson looking so comfortable in that short yardage package is to him as much as possible. 20 targeted touches a game as they'll flip it underneath. Carrick Wheatfall, a little bit of speed, and a great defensive play on the edge. Tavares McFadden, not known for his physicality when he came in as a cover man from Florida State, but shuts it down quickly, and it creates 2nd down and 6. Easy. Nice throw that time from Strebler in rhythm. Completes it to Wheatfall. Burn playing on the back end here with Derek Sluka out with an ankle injury this week. And Winnipeg goes right down the middle. And just like last week, Winton McManus and Brady Oliveira. That looks like 2 kids playing at the park that just appreciate how good the other one is. As Strebler steps up in the pocket, trying to get away, wrapped up and brought down. And once again, it's Aaron Casey in on that 2nd down package, just kind of sifting his way through the traffic. And they've sensed through practice that he is great at that role of wait it out, let the play come to you, and bring down the quarterback as Janarian Grant returns this one across the 30 out to the 35-yard line.
The biggest thing from Arbuckle, guys, that I like that he said is he's kind of gotten rid of that placeholder mentality and really feels like he's gained some confidence and feels like he can be such a leader for this offense going forward.
Yeah, absolutely, as they're both building confidence and
deep balls as you're seeing them on the quick hitters as well.
Arbuckle looking to the lone receiver, tipped at the line of scrimmage, hands got up and knocked it away. They were trying to go back to Coatsy, but two Bombers back there in coverage, taking him away. Arbuckle on second down, pitches forward, looks over the top, pass is complete. First down, Dejon Brissett. Onto the stat sheet here as Kevin Battal runs downfield and gives a little help to Brissett, opening up down the field. 14 second down conversions last week. Arbuckle fakes the run to McMahon, flips it out. Dave Unger III into the flats. And a nice play that time, flying up is Jamal Parker from the outside.
The wide side.
Snap comes up to Arbuckle. Looks over the middle, and this went off the hands of Kevin Battal. Can honestly say that might be the first time this season that we've seen that. Got 3 makes of 50-plus yards already this season, tied for first in the CFL. As this one, smooth as ever.
With all the success he's had, he remembers where he came from.
Absolutely, yeah. The best athletes always do, as we talk about the hometown heroes of Brady Oliveira and Nick Dembski. They'll go back to the ground game here. Oliveira lowers the pad level. Runs directly into Aaron Casey, who's got himself a 2-sack night already, but Brady fired up playing here at home. Oliveira, 13 carries, 82 yards last week against Toronto. As he gets another touch here, and this time he's turned around quickly. With McManus always scratching at the football, trying to get it out. Lorenzo Molden, first sack of the season last night. Has a hard count. And Strevler, when flags come up, has a free play, throws this one into traffic, incomplete, and more flags come out from behind as Darius Bratton was all over the back of Nick Dembski.
Play. Offside. Toronto number 94. Penalty is declined. Pass interference. Toronto number 9. Swallow the foul. Automatic first down.
Extra lineman to help him. He's gotten some chip help from Mattal. That's a matchup I'm really interested in the rest of the game.
As the ball pops out, and it's on the ground, picked up by Person. Touchdown Bombers. Every time we talk to Luke Wilson, a defensive touchdown gets scored.
You know what, guys? I'm buzzing some film. You got your cues in. I think it's one of those things that you put me on here. Defensive touchdowns happen.
Straight losses, and they're in the end zone again here at the end of the first half.
Yeah, Bombers defense did a good job last week getting after Nick Arbuckle, supplying pressure. That time it's Willie Jefferson, just his 2nd sack of the season, but it proves to be a huge one as he pops the ball loose. Jay Person with the scoop and score.
Castillo, after hammering the extra point.
On the right side of your screen, working against another second-year man, but in his first year making starts, left tackle George Moore. He gets beaten to the inside by Jefferson. Jay Person's coming off the other side. He's working against John Boss.
The illegal formation against Toronto. 7 players on one side of the line. That penalty is declined. The convert is good.
Person fighting his way around to get to that loose football. And he's off to the races. The speed to power type moves. A big focus of his offseason training.
So a 24-10 advantage for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers as Janarian Grant turns the legs all the way out to the 40. It's in 14 points against the Toronto Argonauts last week, and now they lead by 14 over Toronto as Dejon Brissett wrapped up and thrown down. Michael Griffin, despite the 3-game skid, and the crowd into it on second down and 11 at the end of the first half with a 14-point lead. That's complete. DeMonte Coatsy has it, but Terrell Bonds won't let him get near the first down marker.
All these young guys, great young men doing a terrific job. They're all eager to learn, but a lot of teaching going on in that O-line meeting room right now.
Willie Jefferson right in the middle of that rush on the punt. Can't get home, so it drops down to Trey Vavel with a kickoff return earlier in this ball game. He gets to the outside, makes 2-man miss, makes Aaron Casey miss on the corner, turns on the Jets, cuts it back at the 50, and can he go? Trey Vavel, say no more! A double dip of return touchdowns.
In the form of 2 special teams touchdowns and a defensive touchdown in the first half of a ball game. Trey Vavel absolutely feeling it. here in the opening 30 minutes in Winnipeg.
On fire. And Mike Miller, special teams coordinator.
Cliché when you say there are 3 phases to the game, but the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are demonstrating it here tonight.
Isaac D'Arcangelo just watched a Trey Vavel jump cut right in front of him to get free. What's great about that return is obviously the moves. Then he senses, okay, I've got the edge. I got to hit the Jets to outrun everybody on the angle here after the jump cut, right? And as soon as he hits the Jets, there's nobody left.
Away he goes.
With 50 seconds left in a first half that for the Argonauts must feel like it cannot end. As Janarian Grant trying to answer, gets a little bit of breathing room. And brought down at the 35-yard line. As Arbuckle looks to throw pressure on. This one tipped at the line. And mercifully hits the turf, incomplete.
They essentially ended up with a double team on the center, and Boss is trying to guess which guy to take.
Clean pocket this time. DeMonte Coxie's free. On the money! Coxie runs free, cuts back, looking for a block, and Terrell Bonds finally gets there as Toronto's in business, but they have to operate quickly. 26 seconds remaining. They missed the home run shot a couple weeks back down this left sideline at the end of the first half. They went right back to it, and this time it connects.
Watch DeMonte Coxie, bottom of your screen. With his 9th catch of 30-plus yards this season, Nick Arbuckle just loads it up and chucks it, putting his faith in Coxie.
Quick ball this time. Mayala makes the catch, brought down around the 10-yard line as they'll whistle this one dead.
He's here. Holds up for that deep ball play.
Arbuckle just gets rid of this one. Smart to do so. Was it behind the original line of scrimmage, though, or was there an intended receiver? Respect intentional grounding.
Yep. Toronto, number 4. Spot of the foul, 3rd down.
Yeah, line of scrimmage is the 10. You see that one. Liram Hairolahu in the field goal unit.
Got the sense their best chance to put some points up on the board in the form of a touchdown was Coxie finishing off that explosive play.
The end zone.
Chris Strevler more than happy to round out the first half here.
Being in the right spot and doing my job, and we'll see what happens.
Thanks, Cameron.
All right, thank you.
See if the Argonauts can dig their way back in as Janarian Grant gets us going here in the second half and makes his way out to the 35-yard line.
For this game, the more Winnipeg pins their ears back.
What will the strategy be here for the Argonauts? They'll begin through the air. Mayala on the outside. Easy completion, gain of 18. And that's a good way to start if you are on that Argonaut sideline. Get a strap reset to go on 1st and 10. Just on the Argonaut side of the field. Arbuckle outside, goes back to Mayala, incomplete. Off the hands as Evan Holm was there in coverage. Hold that last week, those second down conversions, 14 of them. Arbuckle looking for one big one here as Dejon Brissett catches it, thinks about cutting back, and now he does, leans forward, and he does get the conversion. 13 advantage. Arbuckle pressure on, throws into the blitz. Tavares Daniels brought down by Dietrich Nichols.
But he happens to be one of those guys.
Two-time All-CFLer. As now the running game plunging its way forward on 2nd and 2. Peter Nick
becoming a fixture in this Argos offense.
He and DeMonte Coxie to the left side of Arbuckle. They go back to Daniels. And another completion on 1st down here for the Argos. Pressure on in coverage, and this one is complete. Dejon Brissett hangs on to it as Parker came downfield and in some discomfort.
Safety Cramdy, who was coming downhill on that one, may have clipped the leg. Here you'll see. Watch for his teammate coming into the picture. Now at the field corner spot for Parker.
Arbuckle looks down the field, steps away from Willie Jefferson, dumps it off to DeMonte Coxie, race to the end zone, touchdown Argos! And momentum to get things going here early in Q3.
We had efficient drive right out of the gate from Nick Arbuckle and the Toronto Argonauts offense. Seamless in terms of picking up the blitz, getting things blocked up, allowing Nick Arbuckle some time to do his thing. Arbuckle buying himself time on that one, waiting for Coxie to work his way across the field.
Play for Coxie, who's been a lifeline this season for the Toronto Argonauts. The touchdown from DeMonte Coxie. Now it's up to the defense to get the football back, as this is a moonshot. They'll hang it up high, trying to avoid Trey Vavel maybe, as this one drops down into the waiting arms of Shane Gauthier.
In terms of putting Chris Strevler in a position to succeed.
Flip it out to the flats here as Nick Dembski, who does extend his 77-game catch streak to 78. He saved it last week in the rain. He had just one. And Ivan and Shivers just signaled in. 5 receivers for Strevler here on second down. Pressure's on, walks his way right into it. And they'll blow it dead before he hits the turf, but down he goes regardless as Andrew Chatfield Jr. As Jamison Sheehan looks off to his right. That one comes a little bit off the side of the foot as Janarian Grant will catch it on the run. He puts on the full speed across midfield and pushed out of bounds, but a great play as we go down to Luke Wilson.
Listen, I think they're going to play a little tighter on this drive.
Good call, Luke. It was soft. We'll see what they do on this drive. Is this one complete? Mayala making another difficult grab, contested. But number 1 holds on as Jordan Younger in the Winnipeg defense trying to shore things up. In opponent's territory, 2 touchdowns on those drives. Arbuckle looks outside, timing throw, and dug off the ground. DeVaris Daniels in front of Bonds. And that will be hauled in. Of 26 for 165 yards, 9 touchdowns, no interceptions. Pressure on, fades to his right, throws it up, jump ball, Coxie! And he doesn't hold on, but the flags rain down.
Yeah, no doubter on that one as Terrell Bonds was scrambling, trying to catch up as Coxie was in behind him. You see the little out stem here, gets the defender to break down, and then he's in behind.
And Luke Wilson's got to be loving that route. Saw that he highlighted some of DeMonte Coxie in the pregame, setting things up. The pass interference puts the football at the 1-yard line. Arbuckle stands in the gun for now. Deontay McMahon in behind him. Snap is up, handed off. McMahon, cutback, runs right into a pile of blue and gold. And the gold helmets win that battle. Retta Cramdy downhill from free safety. So Laybourne, the running threat from the 1. And he connects legs and clips with Nick Arbuckle. Regardless, I don't think Laybourne was going to get in anyways.
Try and get a defender out of the box, maybe a little bigger back there in Laybourne, but gets tangled up with his quarterback on the exchange.
Everybody's got some different pace, some different footwork. Well, you saw the footwork that time. Clipping digits for Marv on Sunday coming up. As Chris Strevler rips this one behind the line of scrimmage. A little bubble screen. Jarrett Stearns makes a man miss and pushed out of bounds. Flag comes up.
Before yards are gained, illegal block, Winnipeg, number 81. It's a 10-yard penalty. We'll repeat first down.
It's given up offensive penalties, special teams penalties. They are disciplined. That time blocking backwards towards his own goal line. They get Corcoran, so it forces the Bombers back. Anthony Lanier, the first to get his hands on the ball carrier. 4 receivers to the right of Strevler against a 5-man rush. He'll rip this one over the top of Cameron Judge into Nick Dembski's hands, who's dragged down by Tyshawn Blackburn. What a throw and catch.
Judge, and credit Nick Dembski for the concentration here.
They go quickly to the line of scrimmage and no choice but to just check it down to Brady Oliveira.
May have obstructed his view of the oncoming football for at least a split second. Dembski stays with it, hauls it in.
This time they fake the screen, hand it off on the draw inside. Argonauts defense all over that one. Isaac Darkangelo. And frustrated Oliveira. So Sergio Castillo as the Princess Auto crowd quiets itself and allows Castillo to go to work, hammers it through.
For the season, and guys, we learned it might be because they did a lot of off-season training together as well.
Yeah, certainly. No surprises as Arbuckle putting in the work in the offseason. Good things come to those who work. As Arbuckle this time tries to get it away to Mayala. And there's There's Willie Jefferson. Last time that Willie went to the outside on a pass rush at this point. He's been winning inside all night long against the Argonauts tackles. As Arbuckle looks to his right, tipped again. And did Willie get another? Get the banjo out, number 5.
Lines up on the inside this time. Right side of your screen.
John Haggerty sends this one away, decides to go to the wide side of the field. Drops it down, Trey Vavel trying to get his momentum going forward, but the Argonauts all over it. As Willie Jefferson, the game changer that he's always been, as Strevler double catches the snap, now rolls to his right and duffs this one right into the turf in front of Jarrett Stearns, incomplete. So second down and long here. Defense. Strevler, deep drop, loads it up, looking down the seam up for grabs, it's tipped, is it intercepted? Benji Franklin's got it. Was it off the bounce coming from Milton?
This was one that you could kind of see coming from the combination of formation, but almost right from the snap. Carrick Wheatfall is left as the lone receiver on the left side of this formation as they went quads right. And it just felt like Chris Strevler got predetermined that he was going that way, because there wasn't a point where you really felt like Wheatfall had an advantage on the defender. You saw Milton.
Interception to Cameron Judge early on, and now Milton tips it back. A tremendous reaction to Benji Franklin intercepting, and Arbuckle just has to get rid of that one. Is very similar to what we saw in the rain back at BMO last week between these two teams in the 2nd and 10. Arbuckle steps up, throws it down the right sideline. DeMonte Coxie one-on-one, and plenty of hand fighting, and that one's likely going against DeMonte Coxie, was doing anything he possibly could to gain an advantage.
Offensive pass interference, Toronto, number 86. Penalty is declined, 3rd down.
And Coxie recognizing Bonds has position on that one. He's just trying to prevent 24 in blue to get there, from getting there to make an interception.
Haggerty, last play of the 3rd quarter. Booms this one away. Drops it over the head of Trey Vavel, who either didn't see that or lost it in the lights, and skips into the back of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers end zone. So Argonauts in control, but down the stretch, you get the sense that this is going to be a game determined by several big plays, whether it be offense, defense, or special teams. Chris Strevler flips it underneath. Downhill goes Nick Dembski. Runs right into Cameron Judge, but tremendous design that time, as they had plenty of time to discuss it.
Leading the way.
Brady Oliveira gets the touch and bounces off initial contact, rolls forward as Oliveira does so many times. Looks like now they empty it out. Strevler, quarterback draw, one-on-one, and a nice play made that time by Aaron Casey, who's got a pair of sacks here tonight, loses his bucket in the process.
Take that play.
Terry Wilson takes a snap on 3rd and short. Just gets enough. 9 record since 2017 when they are ahead. Now this one back shoulder on Jarrett Stearns, makes the grab, spins backwards. And a high energy, high effort play that time. Earns probably 8 more yards than it should have originally had. Well, that free agency is a heck of a thing in the CFL, okay? Somebody else might want that in the building. Is on 2nd down and 1. Plunging forward into the middle of the pile, another Bombers 1st down. Peg would go at Calgary and then back here at Princess Ottawa against the Ottawa Redblacks. As Strevler rolls to his right, sliding down, and digging it off the turf. Jarrett Stearns makes another grab. 1st down, Winnipeg. Pressure. As this time they will, and Strevler trying to beat the edge, can't get away, wrapped up and thrown down. What can Cameron Judge do? Make a play here, 2nd and 19. 4-man rush going underneath. Corcoran makes the grab, and Darkangelo right there with Benji Franklin. And Winnipeg will settle for the field goal here to its Calgary. A loss to Toronto. They are only 0-1 against the East.
Mentioned he and Willie Jefferson kind of became that dynamic duo on the defensive line.
Inspiring the pass rush here is one-on-one, and the catch radius undeniable from DeMonte Coxie. fighting off Trey Vavel that time, who, despite all of his special teams prowess, still has to deal with the range of 86.
Vavel.
Pass interference, Winnipeg, number 23. Penalty is declined. First down.
Arbuckle, deep drop, steps up in the pocket, looks downfield, throws it down the seam, caught! Touchdown, Coxie! And the Argonauts aren't going away.
In the general vicinity of number 86. Arbuckle does a nice job here to buy time, negotiating the pocket, stepping up, just until he can see that Coxie's got a step on his man. Playing him a couple of snaps to the field. He's delivering a couple of strikes to DeMonte Coxie. Again, getting Coxie matched up out on that wide side of the field.
What felt like a romp to celebration in week number 9 now suddenly has Princess Otto a little quiet.
Secondary has already put in some work on special teams here tonight.
Another moonshot kick. This one's up for grabs, rolling along the turf on the ground. And did the Argonauts jump on top? It is Toronto football. Jonathan Edward looks like he's the one who got on top as Liram Hairolahu steals a possession for the Argonauts.
Cooley, the backup running back, Quinton Cooley, in handling the football.
Yep.
And there was the ball. Well, here it lands in front of him. He's got to understand he's got to come forward and get that right away on the kickoff. It's a live ball.
Tonight, anytime it's not near Vavel, Winnipeg special teams are in trouble. When it's near him, it's gone the other way for 6 twice. Argonauts staging a comeback, down 6. And on 2nd and 10, Arbuckle with all day to throw and puts it into the waiting arms of Jones. Tony Jones steals back the possession that the Argonauts special teams had earned on their own. Arbuckle pats the football, lets it out of his hands, and starts running to cover.
Backer for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Watch the job he does here, just being patient and sorting out the routes around him. He sees Dave Ungerer coming across the field, picks him up, tracks him, and just cuts underneath. Nick Arbuckle thinks he's got an open receiver. Doesn't anticipate that the middle linebacker is going to come with him. Terrific effort, great extension there to make a play. Has made that spot his own.
Absolutely, as the Bombers offense begins with an inside handoff. Minimal gain that time. I think the reason that's going to hurt more than anything, that time, Tony Jones making a massive play. As Strevler on 2nd down and long looks over the middle. Caught by Dembski, first down. And the quick feed of Nick. Moving the sticks once again. Back in and helping the Bombers move the football here. Little play action, flip it out the flats. Dembski on the run. Crosses the 45 and shrugs off the tackle attempt that time. Mark Milton on his way to the sideline.
To this offense.
Strevler stays in, low snap. They throw flags on the play, and was Winnipeg disorganized, trying to go quickly to the line of scrimmages.
Keep an eye here on the left guard, Gabe Wallace.
Procedure, Winnipeg, number 61. 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
Argos rush 4. Strevler checks it down. Oliveira's got to go earn it against Cameron Judge. He shrugs him off, makes the play, cuts back inside the 30, and Brady O moves the chains.
Increasingly competitive has been both of these teams. You look at the guys they go to when they need a big play.
Yep.
DeMonte Coxie has been the go-to guy for the Toronto Argonauts, having himself a monster night here for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. You saw the profile on them earlier in this ball game, the hometown heroes, Nick Dembski and Brady Oliveira.
Snap comes up to Strevler. Will sneak Dembski back into the flats. Makes another man miss, and somehow Dembski and Oliveira just keep finding ways to break tackles. Second and a couple of yards here, and pushing his way through the middle. Somehow Brady Oliveira comes shooting out of the cannon.
Searching for a touchdown on every drive.
Off the right-hand side. Wilson very nearly broke the entire 24-man scrum in season. Strevler now goes back to work. Little pump on the outside, looking for a slant. Go to Tavares McFadden. That's not the man you want to go after. Number 2. All the ball skills to steal it away. And Strevler throws his third as we hit the 3-minute warning.
Tavares McFadden, a man with a nose for the football and a great sense of timing. Huge interception there.
Those are tremendously athletic plays. You'll love to see it.
As Arbuckle has this one tipped up at the line of scrimmage. But you're right, Luke. I mean, we always say, well, these guys can't make plays, but to be in 10, we'll see what Arbuckle can do here, trailing by 6. Got to start to push the football down the field. Can they find Demonte Coxey? As over the middle, knocked down once again. Toronto punts it away with Haggerty. Starting to feel like Grey Cup 2024, really. Just game changer. Can't get away from him. Inevitable. Toronto's got to think it's going to be quick run game, but instead they'll flip it out. And the extension of the running game, that time Bratton comes downhill on Jarrett Stearns. Getting out of the huddle, just managing it at this point. And Strevler, quick run fake, looks down the field. Now thinks about getting out of the pocket, runs right into the waiting arms of Anthony Lanier on 2nd and 4. So the Toronto Argonauts will get the football back here. 2 minutes remaining. Will send this one away. Who will he pick? Steps to the right, hooks it back to the left. Marion Grant catches it at his 12-yard line. Cuts across the 20. Oh, thought he had a little bit of space for a second there. Wants to send down the field. Demonte Coxey is at the bottom of your screen. Another career high in receiving yards tonight, breaking last week's new career high. Arbuckle pressure on and throws this one. A difficult contested catch attempt from Tavares Daniels. Arbuckle tries to escape and check it down. You can't get away from him. You can't escape him.
Well, by my count, that's Willie Jefferson's 4th knockdown of the game. To go along with a sack that forced a fumble that was recovered for a touchdown. A monstrous performance. Beats his man to the inside. And this is baptism by fire for the young tackles of the Toronto Argonauts, dealing with Jefferson all night.
Winnipeg hoping to eliminate the recent memories of double-digit losses. 3 games straight they've had them. Arbuckle gets this one past Willie J. Into traffic and incomplete. Knocked away. Tony Jones there in coverage alongside Trent Babel, who's got 2 return touchdowns here tonight. And Dave Unger immediately got up, ran to the Argonauts sideline and said, please get your red flag out for a challenge.
Yeah, Unger is going to come all the way across from far right side of your screen, offensive left in the formation. And here you'll see ball's not there yet. You know, and tough to say if the right hand of Babel, if there was any kind of tug on the jersey or if it was just kind of that gentle touch as he was trailing the receiver.
Remaining and already in field goal range for Winnipeg is Brady Oliveira. No interest in settling for 3 points. He'd like to punctuate this one in week 9.
Nick Dembski.
Fake the end around here. Handoff inside. Isaac Darkangelo. First contact. Sergio Castillo. 36 yards away. Flags are up as the kick is good.
Illegal formation for only 6 players on the line of scrimmage against Winnipeg. 5-yard penalty will replete the the field goal.
Snap comes back, hold down. Like it never happened. Really pick the mind of Willie Jefferson, you will be blown away by the way that he approaches the game and has for a long time. Janarian Grant returns this kickoff out to the 35-yard line. And Arbuckle thought about checking it down. Instead, he'll throw it as high and as far as he can as Coxie picks it up, drops it down away from the defender. No flags down. A massive battle between Bonds and Coxie. I think 24 will be happy to see the end of this Coxie matchup in a couple of minutes, but this one's not over yet because Coxie just refuses to stop fighting to the football.
Yeah, exactly. Both kind of fighting for space. Bonds trying to wall him off. Coxie trying to fight his way to the football.
Winnipeg is challenging the previous play for offensive pass interference. The play will be reviewed.
Toronto was running out the field goal unit.
After review by the replay center, we have offensive pass interference. Toronto, number 86. It's a 10-yard penalty, and we will repeat first down.
Coordinator instructing Trey Babel in the secondary to back up. Give up the underneath throw. Coxie will happily take that as he tries to rush towards the sideline. 10 seconds remaining.
The linebackers are 25 yards off. Secondary another 10 yards beyond that.
Morris Daniels pads the stats at the end of the night, but you hear the cheers from the 9th straight sellout. And Willie Jefferson in conversation with the man he harassed relentlessly all night long as John Boss, a tough night dealing with these defensive ends, and a lot of love between Arbuckle and Willie J, but a tough result for the Argonauts. Will likely on the trip home believe that they deserved a little bit better in this one.